Hey guys, this is Eliza with RMK Reactions. I'm very stoked. I'm going to be listening to The Cure today. I've liked most, if not all, of the songs that I've heard by The Cure. I think I've said I kind of like a whiny voice, and they're certainly kind of known for that. The songs "Boys Don't Cry." So I'm guessing that we've got a little bit of that toxic masculinity theme, as in the idea that men are not allowed to express their emotions. They must uphold these very rigid ideals that society's constructed for them, which we all know in 2026 is absolute nonsense. Right? Well, they had an inkling, even at the time this song came out, that it was nonsense. So, let's see. Okay. I just wanted to say real quick, I was looking at this hard and I was like, why do they look like little boys here? Well, I think that they cast little boys to represent the band members here, to show how boys are told from a young age that they're not allowed to express their emotions or be vulnerable. Well, what do I know? It's really uncanny to hear the voice coming from this kid. I try to laugh about it, cover it all up with lies. I try to laugh about it, hiding the tears in my eyes. 'Cause boys don't cry. I think their shadows are like the adult versions of them, which is also really cool. Gosh, this is a really interesting music video concept. So they've recast the band as these little boys, but you can still see the silhouettes of the fully grown actual band members behind them. So the little boys are like a representation of who they were undergoing, the experiences and trauma that shaped them into the shadows behind them, who they become. The lyrics are so sad. Like the idea of just playing off any of your pain with like jokes. It's also interesting with like the context of them being a British band, because I do think there's like a little bit of a difference too in like, I'm American, and I think the UK even more so is known for having that like keep a stiff upper lip kind of mentality, where it's like that sort of stoicism is very much a part of the culture there. It's just like, kind of making any of your pain into a joke. I mean, not that we don't have that here, but there is a little bit of a difference, right? Even just where you see like his little shadow start partying as he's talking about all these things that, he wanted to express negative emotions, but he made it into like these cheeky little jokes instead. Oh my gosh. I pushed you too far. I took you for granted. I thought that you needed me more. I would do most anything to get you back by my side. But I just keep on laughing, hiding the tears in my eyes. 'Cause boys don't cry. Those visuals are like really, it's like very haunting for how kind of simple they are in theory. Also, I just random thought, but I wonder how much of Gorillaz is like directly influenced by The Cure, because just like the archetypes for like the for 2D and like Murloc and stuff. I feel like I've actually said this before, but they're all right here in front of me. Uh, I'm really curious how they did this because something about the boys here are very uncanny. I'm not sure if they're like Polar Express kind of thing or like digitally de-aged, or if they did hire like actual young actors and like change them. Like obviously if they are um like actors, they are very well cast because I'm like, yep, that is what the members would look like. Uh, but I don't know. There is something of that like Polar Express uncanny valley. I can't quite clock it if that's what's going on or if it's like some kind of effect. And it's more troubling than I expected it to be. Just seeing this young child with like this specter of his future self, like now with these like glowing red demon eyes, talking about how he's become toxic in relationships all because of how he learned to be so closed off about his true emotions. It's something that's sadly still so relevant and so common. Yeah.
Boys don't cry. Boys don't cry.
Dang. That song is also like shorter than I expected, but it says it's like you kind of don't have to go too much into it because it's kind of just there's a thesis statement right away, and then it just like expands a little bit into um I don't know. It's interesting how he kind of begins talking about the experiences growing up and then how it impacts who he is as an adult. um it's kind of weird, honestly, that that's not something I see that often explored in music. How experiences as a child end up shaping your current day thought patterns. I don't know, maybe a little bit more now, but that feels like a little bit ahead of its time in that manner. Maybe not. I guess psychoanalysis has been popular for a while. But yeah, that was just like something that I'm probably not articulating this super well, sorry, but um, it's a very like simple but very incisive kind of concept song, and the video, I think it just like illustrates it perfectly. In you don't have any kind of like flashy things going on, you don't have any kind of crazy cuts or editing. It just is like the band playing the song and the shadow puppets sort of dancing in the background, and it still says so much with it in the way it interacts with the lyrics. um yeah, that's ooh. And it's, I guess one other thing I forgot to mention is like, of course, the song itself has the very upbeat sound to it, which makes perfect sense with what he's talking about. How you play, if it had like more minor chords, but it's got this instead kind of beachy, kind of fun, dancey sound to it. So it's like, even as he's talking about how, obviously it sucks to not feel like you could talk about your emotions, even as he's saying it kind of in like a tee, like he's burying the earnestness even in the delivery of the message. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think that was really well done. Well, feel free to give me more insights on this. I'm curious how they made this video. I'm not sure exactly which like time period it's from. Obviously, I can't really discern the actual age of the band members at this time because of the whole them being little boys in this video. So I'm not sure how much of it is like maybe like a CGI kind of thing, or just like they cast some actors and like somehow made them look a bit jarring and uncanny in the editing. Um, yeah, I'm definitely very curious about that. All right. Well, I'll see you guys next time. I hope you have a great day and listen to some bangers, all right?